Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakagudash. The blindness of the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. I want to say salutations to the hopeful elect out there, man. You Akim, Tazadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman, and this week's topic is going to be subtility, wisdom, and discipline. Some of the things I want to speak on, because these are some of the things that were brought out during the week and mentioned post-camp. By the way, this is the post-camp lesson, all right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, man. Been consistent every Saturday. Been consistent every Saturday to bring out some type of content to feed the flock, man. All right, giving them that still water, which is the scriptures. All right, but without further ado, man, let's speak a bit on discipline. You already seen the Apostle Elder Rhyme Love lesson, and the wisdom, of course, which Apostle the Apostle Elder Gabar was going into, which is the subtlety that the Apostle Paul used, because this guy Vocab Malone was pretty much speaking on the fact that Paul pretty much used subtlety with Agrippa. The Apostle Gabar gave excellent examples. When you go into the book of Acts, the 17th chapter, it was Acts 17, you see that the Apostle Paul used that wisdom again in the form of his Roman citizenship. He used that at Philippi because he was going to these, he was going to Macedonia, Macedonian colonies. And I want to bring out this point. Some of these Macedonian colonies were Roman colonies, right? Such as Philippi, which he used his Roman citizenship there when they were about to put him on trial. You couldn't deal a certain way with a Roman citizen. Now, that same subtlety could not be used at Thessalonica. All right? Because why? Thessalonica. Oh God, tongue twister, I guess. But you know what I'm talking about. The book of Thessalonians was written to them, Thessalonica. They were independent colonies, so that same wisdom that he used at Philippi, that subtlety that he used at Philippi, he couldn't use it at Thessalonica. So when shit got hot, he couldn't pull that Roman citizen joint, so he just broke out. You know what I'm saying? So that's an example right there, knowing when and how far I could go in this particular colony, what things I could use, such as my Roman citizenship, and when I can't use it, and when I have to apply this situation different. In the same book of Acts, the Apostle Paul, when he was on that trial, he called Festus noble. And, he knew that these guys were a bunch of devils. Not a lot of jakes knew that the so-called white man was a bunch of devils. The Apostle Paul knew. But what? Again, wisdom, all right? So, as it says in the book of Proverbs, the first chapter, give subtlety to the simple. So, there's rules, there's guidelines, there's certain ways to approach different situations that the scriptures cover, all in throughout. And but to apply these things, you have to have that certain discipline now, okay? Which the apostles was also getting into, man. All right, because a lot of brothers know scriptures, a lot of people know scriptures, but again, quoting King David, it's about applying. All right, it's about applying these scriptures, man. Which is a bit more difficult to do, which requires that discipline to do, man. All right, to be in the scriptures consistently, being a lover of wisdom, being a philosopher in a righteous sense, that's what that word philosophy means, Sophia, all right, which is the female name for wisdom, okay? When you read the book of Sirach and you read the prologue, all right, pretty much the guy, his name was Jesus. I don't like saying the name Jesus, but his name was Yahushai in the Hebrew. Yahushai ben Sirach. Let me say it like that. Yahushai ben Sirach. All right, he had a grandfather with the same name. All right, Yahushai. And pretty much during the time of the Ptolemies, Euphrates, Ptolemy III, it says it in the prologue, that pretty much around that time, everybody was desiring wisdom and achieve wisdom at that time. All right, not because it was the right, but just due to popularity, was the ways of the Greeks. Socrates and these type of things. Greek philosophy was sweeping the nation, man. And our traditions and customs was kind of looked as outdated outdated and primitive. But this brother, Yahushua ben Sirach, what he did was like, nah, he dropped that, he tells you the time that he did it, and he was like, look, man, our people is desiring wisdom so much, I'm going to take the works of my grandfather, I'm going to translate it, all right, I'm going to make it into a volume of not just his words, but the words that he know from people and the ancients of Israel, and I'm going to show our people true wisdom, man, what true wisdom is, and he did just that, pretty much, so in the time of when, it's a spirit, because in the time of when everybody was doing all that Greek philosophy bullshit, he said, nah, man, look, man, here's real wisdom. And when you read the book of Sirach, all it does is allude to the scriptures, all right, and the principal benefits of applying these scriptures, the principal benefits of going through certain situations, and applying discipline, looking back and applying discipline with these situations, man. All right. You saw just recently how brothers was dealing with vocab, man. They massacred the brother. Now there's one time when you might have just came in. Sometimes things get heated, and, brothers, kind of, when we first started, you might get a bit carnal, but these brothers just dealt with them. The elders out there in Texas just dealt with them with the scriptures, man. All right, and had that discipline. As much as he wanted to provoke, and stir shit up to the point of, brothers just kept the scriptural, brothers, use the discipline and the wisdom of the scriptures, man. And if you do these things that's applied in the scriptures, and you just stick to the scriptures, it's impossible to fall. All right, because when you're applying wisdom and discipline through the scriptures, you're acting on the words of the Most High, man. All right, these laws, statutes, and commandments, it tells you, like, when you apply them, the nations are going to look at you and marvel. Like, damn, this is really, this is a great nation and a great power. And this is what we're going to see in the kingdom of heaven, man. Even now, that, the brothers that are trying to obtain, the kingdom of heaven, and we're applying these laws, statutes, and commandments, people look at you differently, man. You're being unniggly. The Apostle of the Rakab made a good point, when we went to help him move out there in CT, the way we were moving and, the order we had, we weren't professional, we didn't have no professional suits, but, we were just moving in such a synergy, and it was complete order, nobody was bickering, and we wasn't doing, some paid shit and nothing like that, man. We was helping a brother out in sincerity. People were like marveling at it, like, whoa, what the, because Jake has been accustomed to this niggatry. Just living for yourself, just being a fucking nigga, cynical, all right? Cynicism in the sense of, having your own self-interest in mind and all the time, and, just completely deviating from that, general law hospitality that we used to have at one point, man. So when Jake see that, you carrying yourself upright and seeing us dealing brotherly with one another, all right? Hey, man, the situation with Priest Daniela, how that was handled, the first thing that came to my mind, how the apostles and the elders and that Priest Daniel himself, how they condone themselves, I'm like, yo, you will never get that out of a nigga, man, because niggas have pride, man. All right, a nigga will never have me, oh shit, man, my bad, bro, I was wrong, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have came at you like, niggas don't do things like that, they hold grudges till they die, man, a lot of times. Niggas will really do that. Get that movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, where they had a grudge, and years just went by. They got old, you know what I'm saying? They put the prosthetics on, they got real old. And when they made amends, eventually they made amends, and they was like, yo, why was we mad? He's like, man, I don't even fucking remember, man. And it was funny, but Jake would really do that, man. They'll hold grudges until they're fucking old, man. You know what I'm saying? But why is that? That's because the discipline of applying the scriptures, all right, they don't know it, They don't have that type of wisdom about them, right? And primarily, they were governed by emotions. What do I mean they were governed by emotions? A lot of Israelites out there was raised by their moms, man, all right? Hey, well, you got brothers in the truth that didn't have fathers in their life, but when they came in this thing, they got spiritual fathers, all right? They got fathers in the spirit, apostles. They got big brothers in the spirit, all right? And you see that, we've been molded and acted a different way, man. You might have had your pants off your ass in the world. You come with the truth brother and say, look, man, don't wear your pants off your ass. That's some faggot shit, You didn't get that as a child growing up. You had your mom, oh, you look cute, you know what I'm saying? Or your sister, oh, look at you, look cute. But you got a real man in your life, oh, you a faggot, man, put your pants, you know what I'm saying? These types of things you never had, but imagine you had that your whole life. You know, men will carry, especially the men of our people, will carry themselves a lot differently. That's how come you see, you know, Jakes from different eras have different spirits on them, man. You talk to a Jake from the 70s, all right, he's going to sound a lot different from a Jake, let's say, in the early 2000s or the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Each Jake got that type of different spirit about him, because as you can see, each generation as it went on was losing that sense of discipline, if you will, man. All right, and Esau did this by design, okay, because they have think tanks, what they call think tanks, all right, such as the Bilderberg group, all right. What else they do? The Bilderberg meetings. They have what's the other shit, man? Bohemian Grove, and pretty much these think tanks come together and think, how can we destroy the Israelites, man? The Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. What crafty words we could use? You watch the documentary The 13th on Netflix. Is a prime example. They got together and used, you know, fancy words and shit, pretty much, to like, okay, slavery is over. What can we do now to get free labor? And they, you know, they said we could lock niggas up. You know, let's put most of the blacks, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans in prison. All right, so this the way you see our people now today. You know, and I was speaking about this at camp. It's summertime, and you know, summertime you got a lot of these beautiful women with their cheeks out. You know, it's appealing to your flesh. But as Apostle Tahar say, man, I was not aroused because I'm disciplined. Because after, you know, it's like you kind of betwixt in your spirit, man. Because, you know, I look at these beautiful women and my flesh is like, yo, I want to kill that, but my spirit is really vexed. Like, yo, that could be somebody's daughter just walking around looking like a dot in a hole. And I know that father, because the scriptures tell you that, like how the father kind of wakes up out of sleep thinking about his daughter. You know, that's today, man. That still applies today. You know, the father could be looking at his daughter in his mind like, damn, man, I can't believe my daughter's walking around looking like this right now. You know what I'm saying? And there's really nothing he could do about it. Because the moment you try to discipline your child, you know, stop shaking your ass on social media, take a belt out and discipline her ass, you could get locked up and you could lose your daughter. You know, so you can't even discipline the child, you know, how you want to. You know, you can't raise them up in the scriptures. Well, you can raise them up in the scriptures by teaching them the word, but in terms of applying certain disciplinary actions, all right, you have to use wisdom about it. You know, so there's a lot of dysfunctionality in the family system today, man. Thanks to Esau, he done destroyed it. You know, if you look at some of the best families, or, you know, the closest thing to that family structure, you have to look at those families that live out on farms in the middle of nowhere and shit like that. You know, they do documentaries on them people out there that have farms and the families way out in nowhere and shit. You see that the son is pretty much, you know, respecting the father, the daughter. Pretty much they're doing laborious things from that youth to build some type of disciplinary action. Apostle Ramna brought out the scripture about the gold. You know, he's using the gold at a young age, whatever. You know, that's a good point, you know. Because that discipline, you know, the discipline, it helps, man. All right? See, the mind is pretty much like the potter's clay. You know, when it's young, you know, it got the water, you can mold it, you know. But after a while, as it, you know, as you get older, the clay loses its moisture and it becomes more hard. And, you know, the harder it becomes, the less you can mold with it, man. All right? So, you know, they start early, these different programs they see on television, because you're not in your kid's life like that, man. All right? You're at work, your kids either at school, all right, being taken care of by somebody else, or they got the television, all right? So they molding the kid's mind, all right, from a very young age. And the scriptures tell you in the book of Psalms, the way you dictate the next generation is by what you teach the children, man. All right, so a lot of the shit that we see in today, in the form of these millennials, you know, like homosexuality is so high. Disrespecting parents, mothers and fathers is so high. All right, you know, a father being shit on all these things that really is madness, are being esteemed is on so high. But guess what? These were things that were being implemented in the 80s, man. That way of thinking in the 90s and stuff like that. Being a thug, being a gangster. All right. Fuck using logic and reason. Just go off your emotion. Be wild and ignorant niggas. These things have been molded and embedded in our people for so long. All right. That when the scriptures come along now, all right, and try to mold them on the right path, that pisses Esau off. It gets him mad. You know. That tells you that in the book of Sirach, the 30th chapter, that when you that grieves the enemy. Because why? Because you're gonna leave back a spitting image of yourself. All right. If you train up a son the right way, telling him who his enemy is, teaching him the law, statutes, and commandments, that grieves the enemy. Because look at our spiritual forefathers, man. Starting with our Bivens and our apostles and elders. You look at the videos of them, they just like their elders before them, and we coming in that same spirit. So you seeing that, we're like a photocopy of them, man. We're like a you know what I'm saying? It's like a spitted image. All right, that vibration of bringing knowledge and understanding to our people is being passed down, and that grieves the enemy, man. They rather us just be ignorant and stupid niggas with no type of discipline, no type of order, just completely carnal. All right, but to the spirit of the Lord, we're not coming in that vibration, man. All right, brothers, really, your manhood is being really obtained in this truth. Because even though a lot of us had fathers, guess what? Our fathers, you respect your father no matter what. I don't give a fuck, man. Honor your father and your mother. I don't care if he was not in your life. You gotta still honor your father, man. At one point or another, you gotta still have that respect for him. Because that's your father. The scriptures tell you that. Look, man, they brought you in the world. There ain't nothing you can give them to repay you for that. But what I was saying is, some of our fathers, they've been molded by their mothers. So some of their judgment might have been, impaired, whatever. But boom, you come in this truth. That's when that real manhood real start, man. Like that real, how, in other words, how the Most High wants you to be a man. Not how the world thinks, not how a man thinks, but how the Most High wants you to be, man. All right, which is issuing proper judgment, walking with some type of discipline, walking with some type of wisdom, man. Hey, so that's why we do these videos, man. All right, we do these videos because we learn, and we try to mold the younger brothers that are coming in. All right, that they may learn. All right, and this thing could keep, being passed down, if you will, until the Lord comes back. All right, until the Lord returns. So when the Lord returns, He's gonna see that what? He's gonna see His elect in order, man. In some way, shape, or another, you're gonna see certain group of men that's in order. All right, listening to Him. Hey, with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rakakodash. Hey, double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone, true well. And salutations to the hopeful elect out there. I came to Sadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.